The wine was French, expensive, pre-war vintage. Colonel Bingham held the glass up to the afternoon light. Deep red, perfect clarity. He took a slow sip and returned to the paperwork on his desk. Outside, trucks were waiting. He ignored them. The chateau had been requisitioned in July. 3 stories, marble floors, oil paintings still hanging on the walls. The previous owners had left in a hurry. They'd left everything. Bingham had made it into something proper, clean, dignified. A place where senior officers could recover from the strain of command without the indignity of field conditions. The nurses under his command were the best available. Trained surgeons, trauma specialists, women who could rebuild shattered bone and tie off severed arteries in the dark. He had them changing bedsheets for men with head colds. It made sense to him. Standards mattered. Morale mattered. The high command deserved better than canvas tents and mud. The captain from the field hospital had been standing in his office for 3 minutes. "Sir, the order is signed. Divisional command. We need the surgical unit." Bingham didn't look up. "I'm aware of the request." "It's not a request, sir. It's a transfer order. I don't have the personnel to spare." The captain's jaw tightened. "Sir, we've got boys bleeding out in triage. We're doing amputations with 2 nurses and a medic. We need trained hands. My facility requires trained hands as well." "For what?" "You've got 6 patients, none of them combat wounded." Bingham set down his pen. He looked at the captain for the first time. "I run a convalescent hospital for senior staff. That requires a certain standard of care. I will not compromise that standard because field hospitals are poorly managed." The captain stared at him. "You're refusing a direct order. I'm protecting vital medical infrastructure." The captain folded the paper, put it back in his pocket, turned and walked out. Bingham returned to his wine. He didn't think about it again until the jeep arrived. 4 stars. Bingham saw them through the window. He stood up fast, too fast. The wineglass tipped. Red spread across the paperwork. The boots were loud in the hallway. The door didn't open. It slammed. Patton stood in the doorway. He didn't salute, didn't speak. Just looked. Bingham tried to smile. "General, welcome to—" "How many beds, sir? How many beds are occupied by frontline infantry?" Bingham swallowed. "We specialize in convalescent care for—" "Answer the question." "Currently." Patton stepped closer. "The trucks outside. Why are they empty?" "Sir, I need those nurses to maintain. Boys are dying 20 miles from here." "I understand, sir, but standards." Patton said it quietly. That made it worse. "You've got surgical nurses changing pillowcases while kids bleed out in the hedgerows. You've got morphine and plasma sitting in a wine cellar while aid stations run dry. You've been running a country club in the middle of a war." Bingham couldn't find words. Patton leaned forward. "You have 10 seconds. Release the nurses or I charge you with desertion under fire." Bingham reached for the phone. The nurses were gone in 15 minutes. Bingham watched from the steps as the trucks pulled away. Dust hung in the air. Then the MPs came for him. They handed him fatigues, stained, wrinkled, smelling of sweat and diesel. He changed in front of them. His tailored uniform went into a bag. The jeep ride took 2 hours. No one spoke. The triage tent was worse than he'd imagined. Blood on the canvas, blood in the dirt. The smell hit him first. Copper and infection and unwashed bodies. Kerosene lamps swinging from poles. A boy on the table screaming. Someone shoved a saw into his hands. Femurs shattered. "We're taking the leg." "Hold here." Bingham held. The boy was 19, maybe. Face gray. Eyes rolled back. The morphine wasn't enough. It was never enough. The saw went through bone. Bingham threw up twice that first night. No one noticed. No one cared. He worked for 6 weeks in the forward stations, covered in other people's blood, sleeping 2 hours at a time on a cot that smelled like death. He stopped thinking about wine. If you're interested in the moments that don't make it into the textbooks, I find a new one every week. Worth subscribing if that matters to you. Margaret Carter got on the first truck. She didn't look back at the chateau. She'd been asking for frontline assignments since June, begging for it, watching her skills waste away on trivial tasks while boys died within driving distance. The field hospital was chaos. She stepped into it like coming home. Shrapnel extractions, Arterial repairs, amputations, the work she'd trained for, the work that mattered. She moved between tables without stopping, hands steady, voice calm. She saved 17 men in the first 3 days. By the end of August, she'd lost count. The breakthrough continued. The Third Army pushed east. The field hospitals moved with them. Carter moved with them. Through France, into Germany, following the advance until the guns finally stopped. She went home to Texas in late 1945, back to the rural clinic, back to the quiet work. She didn't talk about the war much, didn't need to. She died in 1988, 73 years old. Peaceful. Bingham made it through his rotation. Barely. He returned to Connecticut after the war. Tried to return to his old life. Couldn't. The country clubs felt wrong. The dinner parties felt obscene. He'd see the wine and remember the blood. He stopped going out, stopped seeing people. He lived alone for 18 years, died in 1963. No one came to the funeral. Patton never wrote about it, not officially. In his personal letters, he mentioned it once. Brief, matter of fact. Had to remind a rear area officer what war actually looks like. Some men need to see the blood before they understand the cost. That was all. Historians argue about it now. Some say Patton overstepped, violated protocol, humiliated a senior officer unnecessarily. Others say he did exactly what needed doing. The nurses saved lives. That's documented. Mortality rates dropped significantly in the forward triage units after they arrived. Numbers don't lie. The rest is opinion. There's a question worth asking. If you'd been there, if you'd seen the refusal, the luxury, the waste, what would you have done? Standard channels take time. Time those boys in the hedgerows didn't have. But breaking an officer like that, publicly, completely, that has a cost too. Maybe some costs are worth paying. That's the story no one put in the official reports. If you want more like it, I'll keep finding them. And subscribe the channel for latest updates.